And welcome once again to Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime. And however it is that you found yourself here, I'm glad you're here. It's kind of a rainy day here in Wheeling, West Virginia. I don't know where it is where you are, if you're listening to us online or something. But it's about 57 degrees, about as warm as it's going to get today. A little bit warmer maybe. Some water out there in the air. Yeah, it's April showers. Yeah, you're going to have that. But I'm really happy to be here. We're coming up on Easter week, so that happens at the end of next weekend. Looking forward to that. I'm going to do a little traveling myself. I don't know how about you? I've got a few things on the agenda today, but including a guest. I've got Lori Jones, who is the executive director of the Wheeling YWCA, coming in at 2:30. And we plan to discuss the opening or the reopening of the Y's Boutique. We'll also talk about some recent renovations at the Y, and they have at least one upcoming event, an Easter egg, and it's scheduled for Saturday. So we'll find out all about that, and I'm sure many other things when Lori Jones drops by. How are you doing, Lola, first of all?
It's raining.
It's raining, yeah. Does that make you ache or anything, or is it just sad?
This, not even the rain, it's the dampness in the air.
Yeah.
I don't have to open my eyes in the morning, and I can tell you if it's going to be foggy or
Yeah.
damp. But when I went outside this morning to come to work, this is how I kind of gauge all kinds of things. It smelled and felt like Charleston, South Carolina in the spring.
In the spring.
You know,
yeah.
it just that damp, kind of warm. You know,
yeah.
it just.
And there's some pollen in the air, and there's sort of there's all this kind of some things you can't even put your finger on. But
yes, no allergens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Around. That's what's always good about the rain.
Yeah. Yeah. It keeps it down.
But yeah, it just put me right back to Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Sometimes those just a scent or just a tactile sensation can put you right back into another time period.
And the older I get, the more I have to fall back on.
Yes, that's true. We are accumulating history rapidly here, Lola.
Yes, I am.
A couple of things I've got on the agenda, mostly a little bit of lighter fare. Last week we talked a bit about Rydell Vaught, who was the nurse who was convicted after she made a professional mistake that ended up in someone's death. And I do have a little more information on that. Not a whole lot has changed in the past week, but that's sort of on the more serious fare. And of course, we could talk about Ukraine and the horrible atrocities there. And maybe we should, but I do have some lighter fare that I want to discuss too. But you are welcome to call in anytime you like, especially before I have my guest. So anytime during this half hour, your calls are especially welcome at 304-214-1600. Got a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, we just went through the first major holiday of April, which was April Fool's Day. And if you've ever wondered where April Fool's Day comes from, well, I did a little research on this, and nobody really seems to know. They have some clues, but we aren't really quite sure. We do know that April Fool's Day customs date back at least to the Renaissance era of Europe, but it's likely that the tradition stems back way before that. Lola, did you get caught by any April Fool's jokes this year or anything?
No, I did not.
You did not?
Thankfully.
Oh, and you worked all afternoon with Donnie, and you didn't get caught on any April Fool's jokes.
He probably didn't know it was.
Probably not knowing Donnie.
So I lucked out on that.
Yeah, you did. Well, some historians have linked April Fool's Day to there was an ancient Russian festival at the end of March where people would come together and commemorate the resurrection of the god Attis. And it was a celebration of renewal, and revelers would dress up in disguises and imitate others. It's also possible that the medieval celebration of the Feast of Fools, where a mock bishop and a mock pope were elected, and church customs were parodied, and that might have inspired the day. We aren't quite sure when the Festival of Fools happened. But there's also this thing about a fish. Some historians think that April Fool's Day had its origins in the 16th century when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. The Julian calendar began its year in March and with the spring equinox, and it was celebrated until April 1st. But by switching to the Georgian calendar, the new year would begin just as we do now on January 1st. Well, news didn't travel very quickly back then, so not everyone knew or was willing to celebrate the new year with the new jokes. And those who continued to celebrate in the spring were often ridiculed and were butts of jokes. So some people believe that may have been the origin. And where does this fish come in? Well, some pranks included having a paper fish placed on a person's back. So it's kind of like what we did in grade school, the kick me sign on someone's back or something like that. In 1561, an early clear-cut reference to April Fool's Day appears in a Flemish poem. They're talking about sending a servant off on fool's errands on the date of April 1st. So that is the earliest documentation of April Fool's Day. So I don't know, as somebody who's engaged in comedy for a long time, I thought, well, maybe I should know the background, the history of April Fool's Day. So did you pull any April Fool's pranks on anybody, or did you get caught by any, or have you heard of any that were particularly interesting? Give me a call. Let me know what you're thinking about. I know there was one back in '92. The NPR ran a show called Talk of the Nation, and they ran a story. It was a hoax story in which Rich Little, who played Richard Nixon a lot, imitated Richard Nixon, announced in 1992 that he was running for president again with the slogan, I didn't do anything wrong and I won't do it again, which I think is great. Let's see, there was a prank a couple of years ago. Why doesn't America read anymore? There was an article that was published online, and it sparked a huge debate on social media, particularly among those who neglected to click on the link. Why doesn't America read anymore? If you had clicked on that link, you would have read this. Congratulations, genuine readers, and happy April Fool's Day. We sometimes get the sense that people are commenting on stories that they don't actually read. And if you're reading this, please read this post and do not comment on it. And then let's see what people have to say about the story. And of course, there were all kinds of people that were objecting to just the headline and didn't bother to click on it and realize that it was an April Fool's joke.
Isn't that just like America?
Can you imagine? A gullible nation.
We've done some Lulus here.
Yeah?
At the station.
Not for airing, or
Oh, yeah.
is there anything we can talk about?
There was one time, I think it was the very first time, we announced that we were giving out $100 bills.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had somebody down on the street with envelopes. People would drive up on the sidewalk but when you opened the envelope, it literally was a bill.
A bill for $100.
Another time, we made that Clay Aiken was coming to the Capitol.
Okay.
The Capitol got flooded. There were people standing in line trying to get Clay Aiken tickets.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But that's the power of radio, too. Isn't that amazing?
We did.
Yeah, that's great.
Every year for a long time.
You got to be careful, where it's just a simple, harmless prank, or whether you're responsible for something that could cause duress and stuff. So, and that's.
These didn't cause duress. It was just.
No, I don't think so. Just showing up to buy tickets that aren't there. That's kind of.
Well, and they were in. Sonia and everybody, they were in on it.
Oh, they were in on it. Okay, good. Yeah, as long as the Capitol and.
What? No, we're not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we heard it. We know he's coming.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe not. Well, I don't know. Maybe better check with the box office.
Yeah, the venue should know for sure. Well, here's a note that's a little bit sadder, and I imagine I'm going to have to talk with Bill about this tomorrow. Bobby Rydell has died. He was a '60s teen idol, and he was in the movie Bye Bye Birdie. He was the epitome of the American pop star in the late 50s, early 60s, the pre-Beatle era, 60s. Pretty much the Beatles killed his and a lot of others of those 50 stars' careers. But he was so influential as an early teen idol in the pre-Beatles era of pop music that the creators of the musical Grease named the high school after Bobby Rydell. I thought that was kind of fascinating. His death came just days away from his 80th birthday, and he was preparing to go on a tour with a couple of other old teen idols too. And he'd been touring since 1985 with some of these other guys too. Rydell just kept active. He never really considered himself an actor, although his role in Bye Bye Birdie was pretty highly praised. If you know the film or the stage play of Bye Bye Birdie, you know that it has to do with a teen idol who is coming to visit a high school for some crazy reason, and it's supposed to culminate in a kiss between one lucky girl, and this teen idol. And the teen idol, I think, I can't remember the character's name, but it was sort of based on Conway Twitty. Yeah, Conrad Birdie. So
Bobby Rydell played Anne Margaret's
boyfriend. Right. That's what I was gonna get to. He didn't play the teen idol. He played the boyfriend.
And that Conrad Birdie was going into the army.
Yeah, into the army. That's right, just as Elvis had done. So that was the premise of it. And Rydell played the angry boyfriend. Well, he wasn't always angry, but when Anne Margaret's character starts to fall for Birdie, he intervenes. And it took some acting chops too for a guy who was basically a pop singer. He said, in fact, on the set, they kept adding in pages of the script, and in order to get him to act a little bit more. So that's pretty cool. That's unusual because I take it from somebody who has his foot in both worlds. Musicians are not necessarily actors, and I see that proven over and over again. So that's I thought that's sad news. But he did live to be almost 80, so I'd say he lived a really good life, and he did write a memoir called Bobby Rydell, Teen Idol on the Rocks, A Tale of Second Chances. And On the Rocks has not to do with the rock music, but he had a bout with alcoholism after his wife of 36 years died of breast cancer in 2003, but he recovered from that. And as I say, he was continuing to tour with some other teen idols too. So Bobby Rydell. I want to do, while I got the moment here, I want to do a little bit of a shameless self-promotion here, if you'll indulge me just a second. My new show, and it's not mine, I'm part of this company, Mystery Theater Unlimited, is about to present a revival of a show called Mind Over Murder. Yeah, that's it, Mind Over Murder. And it's going to debut this Friday at Freilich's Classic Corner. That's in Steubenville, Ohio. It's a really nice venue. It's a dinner theater production. It's really fun. It's musical. It's comedy. It's mostly comedy. And yeah, there's a mystery too. So, it'll be a little mystery to solve. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been to one of these, hey, come on out. There's still room at Freilich's Classic Corner. Really nice venue. Yeah, it's about a half hour from Wheeling, but check it out. There will be a couple of other opportunities, a little more local. We're going to be playing at River City, and that will be later in the month. That will be, what's that date? I'm just trying to double check here really fast. That's the 21st. So Thursday the 21st and Friday the 22nd, we will be at the View in Grandview Park doing that same show. And if you live out near Belmont, Ohio, we've got a brand new venue over there. We're going to be at the Pike 40, and that'll be on a Tuesday night, of all things. Yes, Tuesday, April 26th. So Mind Over Murder, Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, a whole lot of fun, And, I hear this from people all the time. I've been doing this for 26 years, and I still hear this very frequently. I've been meaning to want to go see one of those things, and I know what the road to hell is paved with, And so I appreciate the good intentions, but come on down. It's really not expensive. I can't really drop the price point because that would be a commercial, but it's just give them a call. If you're interested in Freilich's, it's let me see, 740-283-9901. That's right from memory. And if you're interested in River City or The View, you can call 304-233-4555, and they'll set you up with a reservation or answer any questions you might have. All right, so that's cool. I'm still waiting on my usual suspects to give us a call, but I do have other stuff to talk about if you don't want to. I've been hearing a lot about these jumping spiders. Have you heard about this, Lola? The JoJo spiders, or Joro spiders, I think? Joro. The Joro spider is a large spider native to East Asia, and it's been a common sight throughout Georgia and other southeastern states in the past few years. But scientists say that it's most likely going to spread throughout the eastern seaboard and even over here. The thing about these spiders, they're huge and they're scary looking. They are, in fact, I just had a student in a speech class this morning put on a PowerPoint the three scariest things to people. And number one is public speaking, which was appropriate in a speech class. Public speaking. Number three was snakes. Number two was spiders. Spiders and snakes. These Joro spiders, they look terrifying, but they're actually harmless to humans, and actually they may do some good. I know. Okay. Well, let's hear what the experts say, and then we can say baloney after that again. A research scientist at the Odum School of Ecology says people should just try to learn to live with them. These palm-sized Joro spiders have been largely, palm-sized. Yeah, they're huge. Like I said, they're huge, they're hairy, they're scary. They can grow to be about, palm size might be a little easy, about 3 inches long, and they have a large bulbous body with bright yellow stripes, and its underbelly has distinctive red markings. And you'll see them because they go way up high into trees and stuff like that, and then they jump. They actually jump, which is why they're called the jumping spiders. Despite their startling appearance and their namesake, the scientists say they don't believe they're going to be harmful or have much of an effect on the local agriculture or ecosystem. In fact, they may have been beneficial to native predators like birds as an additional food source. And while they kill their prey using venom, scientists say they are harmless to people and pets because their fangs are usually too small to break human skin or the skin of small animals. In other words, try to leave them alone. If they're literally in your way, you can take the web down, with a broom or something, and move them to one side. But they're just going to come back next year. So this may be something that we're going to have to live with, kind of like the coronavirus or something. We're going to have these or mothers-in-law, right? They do seem to be spreading quickly because they're good travelers. Hatchlings do something called ballooning, which is when they use web silks to carry them on the wind to new locations. So they are not only jumping, but they're flying, floating spiders and stuff like that. Also, the potential for these spiders to maybe spread through people's movements is very high, too. Anecdotally, right before the study was published, they got a report from a grad student who had accidentally transported one of those from the southeast to Oklahoma. These spiders are native to Japan, but they're likely to have made their way in the U.S. in shipping containers, some researchers believe. So if you see the Joro spiders, don't freak out. They really won't hurt you. They aren't capable of hurting you, but they're kind of big and ugly. But we don't really recommend killing them or anything. Just kind of leave them alone and live and let live, as they say. All right, well, we've wasted our first half hour of this perfectly good hour. We've got another half to come up right after we take a break, and I'm going to be welcoming Lori Jones from the Wheeling YWCA in our second half. So do stick around. You're listening to Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime right here on the Watchdog Networks.
Coach P says a formal hello Bob Bowlesby says goodbye. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. Those stories and more coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
At Kroger, we believe fresh means whole